Hi peeps, we are back. We're talking the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 14, Episode 18, Reunion Part 1. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. All right, so on to the show, which by the way, this reunion episode was a little boring for me, and I'm hoping that they don't try to drag this out and give us 3 parts. You know, one last part is all we need. I need them to stop giving us these 3 and 4 part reunions. So one thing that I absolutely loved about this reunion was right at the very beginning, when Andy went into each girl's room, he said something that was their catchphrase or something that everybody knows each other for, you know, and I thought it was so fun and so cute. And you could tell that Andy really likes these girls. I mean, they had laughs, they had hugs. You know, Andy mentioned that, you know, Kenya more hair care and the whole bitch, I'm worldwide. You know, it was really just cute. I loved it. He came into Sheree's room and said, hey, you had a fashion show with fashions. You know, it was so cute. I love that. The set was gorgeous. They had real water, a little moat, and they had those beautiful birds. But can I just say that throughout the episode, it was so funny because sometimes the girls would say something extremely shady and those birds would get to squawking and you would see Drew turn around to look at the birds, and then at other times those birds were just loud. I said, oh Lord, these birds is chirping so much, but they were beautiful. Did anybody else notice that they had to walk over a little bridge before they could get to the couches? And as soon as everyone sat on their couch, they took the bridge. And I said, well, and what? I think that they purposely took the bridge because they said, y'all are not running off of here. You're going to sit down on that couch and you're going to answer these questions. I'm just saying. We see the seating. Now, we find out that's the first time Sheree has ever sat next to Andy after all of these seasons that she has been on the show. And I said, well, Lord, that's probably just because of the She by Sheree thing, because I don't think Sheree really earned that seat next to Andy. But who really didn't earn that seat next to Andy was Marlo. Now, it's the first time in housewife history that a friend of who got bumped up to an actual housewife sat next to Andy her first full season of the Housewives. And I think they purposely set her next to Andy because they were trying to change the narrative. Marlo did not deserve to have that seat next to Andy. She should have been sitting there on the end next to Sanya, right on the end. Now, the bone collector chart. I thought that was hilarious. I enjoyed watching each one of them go carrying things back and forth. I was hoping that while they were watching that, something was clicking in their head thinking, maybe I am messy. Maybe I am shady. And maybe I need to learn how to keep a secret. I mean, it's a lot going on. Then Drew and Sheree get into it because, you know, Andy mentions how Drew threw out those bones at Fatum. And, you know, she said, well, she had to Sheree's pet Chihuahua. And Sheree was not here for it. She says that she thought that Drew couldn't handle Fatum. But the truth is, I think Drew handled Fatum very well. I did not like Fatum, and I am glad that they have decided not to have her on the show anymore. I thought she was doing way too much. She was trying way too hard. And there's no peach for you, honey.
But I have a mind of my own?
Absolutely not. You're a great runner. We can all agree to that. But outside of that, honey, I don't know what else is there.
And we've been on the earth for the same amount of time, and you've only been able to accomplish mediocrity at best.
Don't discredit me and disrespect me in this moment.
We had a fashion show with fashions.
Absolutely.
If I go to shebysheree.com, there's no fashion.
The season finale.
It's going to be up. The website is running.
Up, running.
To be clear, I am always in support of She by Sheree. Now, have I been throwing her shade?
Yes, she has.
Yes. Did she throw me shade in the show?
Shade?
What? Did you just say when?
Please talk about this. Absolutely. When did I throw you
On
shade?
the show, Sheree. Really talk about the time you and Marlo were having y'all discussion outside.
I am fashion, so I'm doing a fashion line. She doesn't represent fitness or workout. So that's the only issue I had.
Oh. I represent health and wellness because I was open about my health issues. Yes, and we've all pretty much had something done, correct?
I had a mommy makeup.
I had a breast done. You've had your breasts done, your
Yes.
booty. I'm just saying.
My booty,
all,
bitch, you crazy.
Well, we've all
this
had
is all
something
natural,
done.
honey.
is
Squats,
my
not
point.
shots, honey. You had your whole body done.
The whole runner thing, I thought, oh, Lord, Drew. I laughed at first, and then I laughed even harder when Sanya came back and said that pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing, that Drew was mediocre. Drew got an attitude, and I said, oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. You cannot get an attitude because she shaded you back. You started it with her first. I'm just saying, I am not the biggest fan of Sanya, but that comeback was pretty good. Andy, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, no, ma'am. You know, she is still not given, okay? That original She by Sheree website is still down. She has a backup website that she posted, and the items on the backup website, they cost too much, okay? She's got a sweatshirt that's $252. Some of these items just cost way too much. Who is paying $252 for a sweatshirt by Sheree? Are you kidding me? That is a no-go, ma'am. That is a no-go, ma'am. And then the guy who says that he designed all of these designs for Sheree, he says that he has not been paid. He says the reason that the show was late is because he was backstage sewing up the outfits on the models and that she didn't give him that much time. Listen, he's been out on the internet just sharing everything. I'm going to post it here in the video. You guys can pause it and read what he had to say, but She by Sheree is still not going well. People are still clowning her. She by Shein, She by Amazon. I mean, girl, stop this, okay? Sheree saying that she didn't say anything wrong to Kandi this season. She didn't say anything negative about Kandi. Girl, if you don't shut the hell up and stop telling lies, okay? Tell the truth and shame the devil. You are lying your butt off. You shaded the hell out of Kandi. Kandi has been extremely supportive to Sheree. She has posted the She by Sheree stuff all over her social media. Cut the crap. One thing is for sure, these girls cannot pretend that Kandi is not a girl's girl or that Kandi does not support these ladies. Sheree is too damn much. And when she tried to say that Kandi was using her for clickbait, no ma'am. No ma'am, no ma'am. No ma'am, no ma'am. I'm just saying that's ridiculous. Now, somebody had made a comment to Drew saying something about she overtalks people too much, and maybe that's why her and Ralph have problems. I don't know what fan made that comment, but don't make any more comments. Ralph is a narcissist. He gaslights the hell out of that lady. Her overtalking has nothing to do with the treatment that he gives her. Get the hell on up out of here. Also, another moment that cracked me up is when Andy said that Sanya was crying. And Drew said, oh, she's got tears. And Kenya said, yeah, that's crying. And Kandi leaned off to the side while she was laughing so hard. I said, oh, Lord. And Andy said, well, those are tears. She's not an actress. And Drew says, or is she? That cracked me up. Drew is really quick-witted. And she was not here for Sanya. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous. She didn't come here to play. One thing I also noticed is Sanya kept trying to say that Drew was lying, that she did tell Drew when they were in her room getting their makeup done. Drew actually went to Twitter and she posted about it. She posted a clip. And if you remember in that episode, Sanya in her confessionals admitted that she did not talk to Drew about it when she was in that room because it was so many people in there. she made a comment about how big Drew's entourage was. So she was absolutely lying. And also, her reasoning for being upset with Drew is just nonsense. It's stupid. She says that Drew told her that she wasn't confrontational. But then she said, and Drew was exactly confrontational. She was always getting into it with people, and that's what turned me off about her. So why are you so close to Marlo then? Because you would think if Drew being confrontational is a problem, why are you so close to Marlo? My thing is, I think that Sanya thought that Drew was going to be easy pickings. I'm going to hold on to this peach, but I need to find one other woman on the show that I think that I might be able to dominate. And you failed. You failed. You couldn't walk all over Drew. It is a no-go. And as far as I'm concerned, Sanya is a one-season housewife. They can get rid of her.
So you don't pay people because of your kids?
A
Do
service.
people
Let me
who
give you a-
send you bills get payment on the bill?
It depends on what it is. So
When you contract someone for services, if you're not satisfied with those services, it doesn't absolve you from paying them.
Okay.
I was like, yo, Ty, like maybe we can help her in some kind of way. Only reason why it's a topic at this moment
So I
because
will
you
post
got
that.
on this show. I never try to help
But I-
anybody.
you-
Knowing that a person
don't
that
know.
I
I don't
tried
know
to
that-
help multiple
I
times
don't know.
will get on a platform to millions of people and say I don't help people.
Why you would get with him after knowing what he did to his ex-wife? Do you ignore red flags?
I think we all ignore red flags.
What did he do to his ex-wife?
I don't know.
He cheated and had a
he
baby.
cheated. I mean, of course, he's an attractive guy. I'm never really, into that looks or whatever.
We've met Bob.
But I never did anything to you, so it was always confusing. Like, what did I do?
When Drew said I didn't say anything, Drew lied. She even said to me, I feel like I'm not confrontational, I'm not that girl. And as I was getting to know Drew, I felt like, damn, the girl that she's saying she doesn't want to be is the person I am seeing every time I'm with her. She's fighting with somebody.
She's crying.
She has tears. There's
Okay.
tears coming out.
I mean, okay,
That's
well,
crying,
that's
girl.
crying.
I mean,
She's not a trained actress.
or maybe she is.
Every girl needs a mom or dad, and I just feel like I'm so by myself because it's like a lot of the girls don't make me feel worthy.
Then Drew says that she thinks that Sanya is a flip-flopper, and I agree. And Andy, for some reason, asked Sheree, does she think that Drew is a flip-flopper? And she says, no, she's a liar. And I said, well, what? I know all she by Sheree does is lie. Is not on here calling Drew a liar. This is crazy for me. So I'm all over the place with my review today. But then the other thing that caught me and my attention was Sheree tried to lie when Andy asked her about Martell. Because he had a fan question, and the fan question was, does Sheree notice red flags? Which she said she doesn't, pretty much. Which I'm thinking, at your age, are you really out here just ignoring red flags? I don't think so, ma'am. That is not a good look. And thankfully, Kenya had no problems. She said, oh, he cheated. He had a side baby. He's a liar. Thank you. I appreciate it. Because Sheree was sitting there trying to act like Martell was such an awesome dude. Girl, stop it. Then she makes the comment that, he's attractive, but, she's never been into looks. When Kenya said, yeah, we all met Bob, I laughed so hard because I thought that I was the only one who did not think that Bob was that attractive. But it wasn't all about his outer appearance that wasn't attractive. His personality was not attractive. Bob was a jerk to Sheree, and that's probably why I thought that about him. Another thing that I thought was really funny was when Andy asked Sheree, does she pay her bills? And she said she pays people who deserve to be paid or something like that. And I thought, ma'am, if someone does a service for you, they should be paid. And the fact that Kenya had to explain to her why she needed to pay people who have been of service to her, even if you didn't appreciate the service or you didn't like the service, you still have to pay them. then you just don't use them again. I think that Sheree should be absolutely embarrassed. You are on a national program where people have to tell you about why you should pay people. You have been having these rumors about you for years, and I believe that they are true. You have got to pay people. And did anybody notice that Andy was smiling his head off when Kenya was talking to her about paying people? Andy was cracking up. Like, he just cannot believe this grown woman is out here in these streets not paying people. And somebody went out on social media and they said, I'm glad Sheree is getting dragged for not paying her damn bills. Shout out to me as a waiter in 2014 and her having a full lunch and several drinks and never leaving me a tip. That is so embarrassing. One thing is for sure, I am always going to tip. I know that waiters usually don't even make minimum wage. Not only that, they're on their feet all day and they are running back and forth from your table to somebody else's, back to you. You know, just leave a tip. And if they have exceptional service, if you can afford it, tip over the 20%. You know what I mean? It's something nice. Goodness will come back to you. I'm just saying, this is just terrible to me. Then they talk about Tyrone a little bit. Like I said, I'm all over the place. But they talk about Tyrone, and she doubles down on the fact that the sex was not good. And she said, as a matter of fact, it was so bad, she just couldn't take it anymore. And that's why she started the abstinence thing. And she also admitted that she believes that Tyrone was trying to use her because she found out he was trying to make deals behind her back. And it just reminded me of that scene when Nene told her that Tyrone wasn't shit. And she got all upset and she was like, fix your teeth. And Nene was like, fix your face. And then she said, fix that body. You remember when they was just acting ridiculous? She should have listened to Nene. You could have saved all that time you wasted on Tyrone. Somebody else said online, not Andy high-fiving Sheree for a clothing line that took 14 years to come to life. And all we ended up getting was overpriced Sheen. Oh gosh, the internet is savage. So the whole thing with Sheree and Drew going back and forth about drop it with Drew. My thing is this. When you think of Drew, you really don't think of a fitness person. But when you think of Sheree, you do think of a fitness person. I think that that would have been a great idea for Sheree to encourage Drew, and then maybe her and Drew could have collaborated and they could have really done something, and they could have made a movement, you know, between moms working out, getting fit, getting their bodies back. You know, they could have done something. It could have been a lot of success for both Drew and Sheree. My problem with this was everybody was so supportive of Sheree, but nobody was really supportive of Drew. Now, I do realize that Drew did have a little plastic surgery and things like that, but at least she was out there trying something. You've been working on She by Sheree for, 14 years, and when Drew said that Sheree had her butt done, she said, squats, not shots. And I believe that. I don't think that Sheree did anything to her butt. I think Sheree is really good at working out and taking care of her body and eating well. But I do think that she should give Drew a little bit of a break. Now, the situation with Marlo and Candy, I think that Marlo is a complete jackass. I really do. Candy really did try her best to be there for Marlo and support Marlo. So somebody tweeted, so Marlo said, Candy didn't get her a show, Todd did. Aren't they a unit though? They married. Don't think he would call her up on GP if she wasn't a friend of his wife. Candy replied, she said, right, I'm the one who told him to do it. Not to mention that I called and set up a meeting with my contact from WeTV. Todd put the show concept together and the pitch reel. We both made it happen. And I believe 100% of what Candy said. Candy's manager or assistant, I'm not really sure, I think he's the manager, Don Juan replied, and he said, everyone on that platform has had their business promoted by Candy without asking. And that is true. That is true. I follow her on social media and she is always supporting. So then they move on to Marlo and Her Trauma. And listen, I feel for her. I truly do. But I'm not here for this. I'm really not. I think that instead of a peach, they should have just gotten her a therapist. I don't appreciate how Marlo is always wanting these women to support her, but then she tears them down. You have to earn the respect that you want them to give you. No, I'm not here for that. I am really pissed off at Andy because I feel as if Andy and the rest of the producers over there at Bravo, they wanted to try to soften Marlo to the viewers so that they can continue to let her hold on to that peach and come on next season. You did not hold her accountable for her actions at all. Instead, we had to spend way too much time talking about her traumas. Marlo's trauma is not an excuse to avoid accountability. It's not an excuse for her treatment of others. At her particular age, she's old enough to know that this behavior is not okay and that she needs to get into some therapy. Because you've had a hard life does not mean that you can weaponize your pain against others. And as I was watching it, I was getting more and more pissed off because Marlo's situation is so similar to Kenya's situation, yet and still you treated Kenya like garbage. Every chance you got, you threw up in her face her relationship with her mother. And then you sit on this couch with one tear saying that you really need your mama. You really wanted your mama. Well, Kenya really needed and wanted her mama too. You two could have been the best of friends. You could have been there to support each other. And the same thing for the way Marlo treated Candy. Candy helped that girl get her own TV show. She also introduced Marlo with a TV film agent. And whenever her agent put Candy's name out there for film roles or TV roles and Candy was not available for those roles, Candy told her manager to put Marlo up for those roles. So are you kidding me? Marlo, if you don't want Candy for a friend, I certainly do. Marlo sat on that couch and told Candy, well, why do you keep bringing up that you helped me? She would not have to bring up the fact that she helped you if you weren't going around telling people that she doesn't help people. That is a lie. And then Marlo sits there next to Andy with that one tear again, talking about how they judged her. They called her a whore. But you called Kenya a whore. You said she slept with all those rappers. Then you said that Candy was a sugar mama and that she done slept with half of Atlanta. So what is it? Is it bad for them to do it to you, but it's okay for you to do it to them? Kenya wasn't here for Marlo, pretending like she was the victim here. Somebody posted, it's hard to paint Marlo with a victim's brush when she has shown zero growth with her nasty behavior. It's below the belt. Apologize, gaslight, nasty, shade. Then the cycle repeats itself. It's exhausting. She needs therapy and a new friend group. And Kenya replied, and a new show. I agree. Somebody also said, no, Marlo acted a whole ass this season. Now they are trying to give her a platform to make her sympathetic. Girl, bye. Kenya said, that's what I said. #fail. #Real Housewives of Atlanta. They have to justify giving her a peach when fans wanted a recall. Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. I said, oh my gosh, is this Andy's way of having her stay by trying to soften her up with us? There is no softening when it comes to Marlo. She needs to go. Anyway, you guys, this episode was just okay for me. Maybe we'll get a little more action next episode. Get down in the comments and let me know what you guys think. And until next time, bye.